spirits in the house.
Follow me. This way.
Welcome back to ViralVault, the place where shadows talk, rituals breed, and devils hide in plain sight. Tonight we're crawling through the darkest corners of cinema. From folk horror drenched in ritual to supernatural thrillers. From cult classic horror to the cosmic unknown. If you thought possession was just a story whispered in church basements, think again. Because this first tale, it doesn't just whisper, it screams. 1. The Exorcist 1973. Possession never looked so real, this supernatural thriller still crawls under your skin.
It is he who commands you! The power of Christ compels you!
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
William Friedkin directs with an unholy grip. And Linda Blair, as poor Regan, gives the kind of performance that feels less like acting and more like true damnation. A 12-year-old girl twisting, cursing, decaying from the inside out while Ellen Burstyn, as her mother, spirals into despair. Two priests step forward, and the exorcism begins. Not just a ritual but a war. The room grows colder, the walls shake, faith itself fractures. For me, this is a solid 9 out of 10. A supernatural thriller that feels less like entertainment and more like an encounter you weren't supposed to see. And yet, the darkness of possession is only the beginning. Wait until you see what bloodlines can hide. 2. Hereditary 2018. Grief is terrifying, but in this folk horror, grief is just the mask.
I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
Ari Aster doesn't just direct, he dismantles. Toni Collette's performance as Annie is volcanic. Her face etched in suffering so raw it feels dangerous to watch. The Graham family mourns, yet the funeral opens a door to something far worse, a cult hiding in plain sight. Whispering of King Paimon, decapitations, seances, children swallowed by fate. It's slow, suffocating dread, the kind that doesn't lunge but crawls patiently until you can't breathe. For me, this is a 9.5 out of 10. Folk horror at its cruelest, where family isn't your refuge but your curse. But what if the evil isn't summoned by grief? What if it's already growing inside the womb? 3. Rosemary's Baby 1968. Pregnancy, but make it witch horror. Wrapped in Satan's smile. Roman Polanski crafts a nightmare that seeps into your walls. Mia Farrow, fragile yet luminous as Rosemary, finds her perfect apartment isn't a home but a trap. Her neighbors? Too kind, too present, too watchful. Her husband, played by John Cassavetes, eager for success, eager enough to sell something he shouldn't. And Rosemary, gaslit, drugged, and carrying not just a child, but the devil's child. For me, it's a 9 out of 10. Witch horror that's less about blood and more about paranoia. The kind that makes you look twice at every friendly smile. But if the devil can be born, he can also grow up. And that's where the next terror waits. 4. The Omen 1976. Damien isn't just a child, he's prophecy with a smile.
Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, The Omen.
Richard Donner directs with elegance and menace, letting the horror unfold like scripture gone wrong. Gregory Peck and Lee Remick play the parents, clinging to normalcy even as accidents pile up, accidents too precise to be accidents. The nanny, the priest, the photographer, all swept away in violence that feels inevitable. And Damien, the Antichrist in a little suit, never raises a hand, only watches as the world cracks for him. For me, it's an 8.5 out of 10. Folk horror tangled with satanic prophecy, still chilling in its quiet inevitability. And when you realize evil isn't just born but also invited into your home, you'll remember the Warrens. 5. The Conjuring 2013. A farmhouse, a family, and a supernatural thriller that bites back.
I had gone to bed. I opened my eyes. The apparition started to come down to me.
James Wan directs with the precision of a showman and the cruelty of a sadist. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson embody the Warrens. Walking into a Rhode Island farmhouse already dripping with demonic rot. Doors slam, clocks stop, the children see what the parents won't. And Bathsheba, the witch who offered herself to the devil, wants company. Every scare is crafted to make you jump. Yes, but also to sink into your nerves like rot. For me, it's an 8 out of 10. A supernatural thriller that may not be subtle. But damn, it knows how to own your living room at night. And speaking of isolation, imagine a school in winter. Empty except for the devil himself. 6. The Blackcoat's Daughter 2015. Loneliness becomes a church bell in this folk horror. Tolling for your soul. Oz Perkins directs like he's whispering a prayer backwards. Kiernan Shipka and Emma Roberts drift through an icy Catholic school. The snow piling high, the silence pressing harder. But silence hides voices. Voices that invite. The devil doesn't rush. He seduces. And once you listen, you're his. It's slow, yes, but the chill never leaves your spine. Not even in the quietest scenes. For me, this is a 7.5 out of 10. Folk horror with frostbitten teeth. A satanic echo you carry long after. But if that's too quiet, too restrained, the next story comes with blood and ritual in full scream. 7. House of the Devil 2009. Babysitting. But T. West makes it satanic folk horror, and babysitting never felt deadlier.
This is huge. This one night changes everything for me.
Jocelyn Donahue plays Samantha, just a girl trying to make rent. A strange house. An older couple too polite. Too desperate. The night stretches on. Silence at first, until ritual breaks loose. Tom Noonan's presence is unsettling. The kind of calm that feels wrong. And the house itself is a trap dressed as a job. Shot like an 80s film but dripping with sacrifice. It's a time capsule of satanic panic paranoia. For me, this is an 8 out of 10. Folk horror with a retro blade that cuts deeper than you expect. And yet, rituals are nothing compared to what comes when hell itself opens. 8. Hellraiser 1987. A puzzle box and cosmic horror answers.
It gave me an experience beyond the limits.
Clive Barker directs his own nightmare. And Doug Bradley's Pinhead becomes legend. Ashley Lawrence fights for survival. But this isn't just gore, it's transcendence. Open the lament configuration and you don't summon demons. You summon Cenobites, angels to some, devils to others. Pain and pleasure merge until you can't tell the difference. The chains, the hooks, the flesh ripped not for cruelty, but for exploration. For me, it's a 9 out of 10. Cosmic horror with leather and blood. A reminder that the scariest hells are the ones dressed as heaven. But what if Satan wasn't summoned with blood, but with charm and a perfect suit? 9. The Devil's Advocate 1997. Temptation never looked smoother. This supernatural thriller smiles with perfect teeth.
It's my time now.
Taylor Hackford directs with a smirk. And Al Pacino devours the screen as John Milton. The Devil in Armani. Keanu Reeves, the young lawyer, thinks he's climbing the ladder, until he realizes the ladder leads down. Success tastes sweet, until it rots. The manipulation, the seduction, the realization that every win was never really his. It's less about jump scares, more about moral horror, the kind that makes you question your own ambition. For me, this is an 8 out of 10, a supernatural thriller with courtroom polish and infernal ink. But what if temptation wasn't a job offer, but a book you should never open? 10. The Ninth Gate 1999. Books whisper. This one screams. A satanic thriller that bleeds into mystery.
Of what you are about to witness.
Roman Polanski returns, directing Johnny Depp as Dean Corso, a rare book dealer whose greed drags him too far. A manuscript said to summon the devil. Pages scattered, truths hidden. Every step takes him deeper into shadows. Every deal carving another line into his fate. It's slower, more restrained, less fire and brimstone, more smoke and suggestion. And that's its power. For me, it's a 7 out of 10, a satanic thriller that seduces with mystery instead of shock. Though the devil's grin still lingers. And maybe that's the truth of satanic horror. Sometimes the loudest scream is the quietest whisper. And that's our descent, possession, rituals, cosmic torment, even the devil in a tailored suit. From folk horror to supernatural thrillers. From cult classic horror to cosmic horror. Satan hides in every shape. This is ViralVault, closing the book, but not locking it. Because evil doesn't stay on the screen. It waits. So tell me, which satanic horror crawled deepest into your bones?